Going to try to explain to you the nature of cryptocurrencies, the peculiar nature of cryptocurrencies relative to the Bitcoin. Okay, the behavior of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the altcoins, and I'm going to try to relate it with the art of investing in cryptocurrency. Okay, meanwhile, the knowledge is important beyond just investing. You just need to understand the peculiar nature of cryptocurrency, and this is just a simplistic way of describing them. But a more detailed information can be got by spending by so much screen time and basically spending so much screen time analyzing and understanding each has its own peculiar nature, but basically the altcoins behave in peculiar ways relative to the Bitcoin. Okay, so in layman terms, I'm going to describe. You see, if you see, this is TradingView, one of the platforms I recommend that you use for your chatting. TradingView is actually more like the boss of all chatting platforms. Almost every chatting platform I'm aware of draw their data from TradingView. So TradingView is more like the Google of the chatting space, trading analysis space. So if you go to Binance has inbuilt chatting platforms, but they get their data from TradingView. You know, so and TradingView has customized data platforms. I mean chatting platforms for each platforms, Binance, BitMEX, and the likes. So for example, let me just digress a bit. If I want to add a pair to analyze on TradingView, you see the plus sign at the top right column here. I can decide to look for the pair BTC USD, BTC USD, USDT pair. You see, if I click on the first one, this is the chart as it is on Bitstamp. This is the chart as it is on Coinbase. And okay, I just added the one for Coinbase, and they differ in value. The value per time differ, to a little extent. The difference may not be so significant, but which one you choose depends on the platform you use for trading. Like I told you, Binance is not the only platform you use for exchanging crypto for one another, but Binance is what I use basically, and you might not need all you don't need all the platforms. They are mostly a replica of one another with just little differences. Okay, but I'm cool with Binance. Okay, for now. So you see Coinbase, okay, then Bitstamp. Now see Binance and Bitstamp. You see the difference is there's some difference in the value per time. Why right now Coinbase BTC USD is reading 37,080 and $88. BTC USD on Bitstamp is reading something like that. It's about $5 to $10 different from that. So you want to make sure that you select a particular pair that has the name of the platform that you use for trading. So I already selected BitMEX. If you go down here, BitMEX should be this, or rather Binance. I used to use BitMEX, that's why but I use Binance now. So this is Binance. Okay, and then I already selected Binance. This is my chart on Binance. This is my chart here on Binance. Okay, this is my chart here on Binance. So as far as investing is concerned, one thing you need to understand is one peculiar thing about investment. When you hear investment, one thing that comes to mind is long term. Okay, that's what what makes investment differ from the regular business or trading. Okay, the fact that when you talk about investing, then you are talking about a devotion of a relatively long time before you reap the reward. Okay, so, and as a beginner in the crypto space, I recommend that you don't delve straight into trading. I mean, trading, day trading, and then maybe short term trading, which requires some high skill or high level skill and knowledge. Like I mentioned in one of the classes, knowledge of price analysis, which is something that will take long before you really understand that, before you perfect the skill. Okay, and it's beyond the scope of this particular class. But I mentioned that in order to be an investor in cryptocurrency, you really don't need to be very good at price analysis, especially technical analysis. You just need a few things which I'm going to mention to you in the course of this particular video, and I will further highlight it in via text in one of the classes in the crypto immersion program. So one thing you need to understand about cryptocurrency is the fact that, number one, Bitcoin is the pioneering currency, like it's been stated already, and because of that, it is the currency that determines what happens. At least for now, Bitcoin determines the direction of the market in the crypto space. Okay, so if there's a massive move in Bitcoin, it will affect the crypto space in drastic manner. It can cause some other coins to crash, or it can cause some other coins to follow suit with Bitcoin, depending on some factors that I will try to mention in this video. Okay, so the number one thing you should understand is Bitcoin determines what happened in the crypto space, just like you have USD, US dollar being the the driver of the forex markets. So this is the B. I'm going to tap this now and then show the BTC charts. And so, like I already explained in one video that you can get access to on my YouTube channel, and I put the link on in the down below in one of the classes, and that's a basic overview of trading view. Okay, so that you can understand how to relate to these candlesticks. It don't give you an expert skill, okay, in analyzing the market, but at least you will be able to relate to what is happening and how to interpret what is happening exactly on the screen when you see all these red and green candlesticks. Okay, so like I said, Bitcoin is the determinant of what happens in the crypto space. Okay, and then one thing about Bitcoin is usually when Bitcoin is making very crazy move up, like you see on the higher time frame, like weekly, by now you should have watched that basic overview of the trading view so that you can better understand what I mean by all this time frame. You see on top here, you have stuff like 5 minutes, 15 minutes. You have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, and I explained it in that video, so try to watch that video so that you can better understand it. Okay, so you see Bitcoin moving rapidly up here around this time when Bitcoin was making a crazy move up from this point up to this point. Around that particular time, many coins were crashing, many altcoins, and this was the reason, because Bitcoin is the most trusted crypto in this space. Okay, and then when it's pumping so hard, a lot of people trust more in the fact that, oh, Bitcoin is the boss, oh, it's pumping hard, and people want to pull their funds from wherever it is and put it into Bitcoin. So a lot of funds that are even in altcoins are pulled out of altcoins. So there is more buying pressure on Bitcoin and there's less buying pressure on the other altcoins. So usually when Bitcoin is pumping hard, a lot of altcoins will be crashing except Ethereum. Ethereum usually follows Bitcoin. It usually follows Bitcoin except on few occasions, and that's because the Ethereum itself has built trust in this space. Okay, Ethereum is the second cryptocurrency next to Bitcoin in market valuation, and then based on trust in this space, Ethereum is highly trusted too. So Ethereum follows Bitcoin. Why most of the times when Bitcoin is pumping so hard, I say most of the times, not all of the times, when Bitcoin is pumping so hard, you see many altcoins crashing. Okay, many altcoins will crash because Bitcoin is most trusted, and the fact that it's pumping, a lot of people want to pull their funds in Bitcoin. Those who have funds in altcoins, they are pulling out of altcoins and pushing their funds on Bitcoin. And when the demand for Bitcoin increase, then it increases the price further. And because people are pulling out their funds from other altcoins, the demand for altcoins are reduced. And when demands decrease, okay, it means the price of those altcoins will nosedive and crash. That's one basic reason why usually Bitcoin, when Bitcoin rises very sharp, altcoins usually tend to go red and go down. Okay, but one thing that often happens is when Bitcoin gets to a point where it starts consolidating. What I mean by consolidation, I don't know if I mentioned in that video on the basic overview of trading view. When it gets to a point, here from this particular point, it keeps going up, and up. If you check it on the daily, it was a very crazy move up. It was a crazy move up right from this point. Now, right from this particular point here, you see it moving up, and up. At this point in time, when it was moving up consistently, most altcoins were crashing. This was around December. This was December 25. to January 8th. Around this time, most altcoins, apart from Ethereum, they were crashing. They were crashing hard because as it was moving up, a lot of people started putting their funds in Bitcoin, and demands for Bitcoin increase. Bitcoin keeps rising, and altcoins demand for nobody cares so much about them, so the demand for them reduced and they start to crash. But at this point, when Bitcoin reached this peak of about 44 or about 40,000 plus, now, and it started consolidating, it started going up and down, up and down. So at this point in time, usually nothing interesting is happening to Bitcoin. So because of that, people feel like, okay, nothing interesting is happening. Bitcoin is tired of moving up right now, so it may keep moving up and down, in a range over some time. So people find it less interesting at this point in time. So a lot of times people will consider the altcoin, and that's why we consider, okay, right now let me just put my fund out of Bitcoin and put them on altcoins. Okay, and before you know it, immediately after Bitcoin is done with the crazy move up and starts consolidating, usually the altcoins will start pumping hard. That's usually what happens. The altcoins, the other alternative cryptocurrencies, will start pumping hard. Usually after Bitcoin had made a crazy move up and then starts to relax. Okay, and then that's it about one of the behaviors of cryptocurrency. And like I said, Ethereum often follows the same direction as Bitcoin. Okay, and sometimes when Bitcoin is moving and Ethereum stops, it's not moving as much as that, then you should rightly position yourself. Usually when Bitcoin stops moving, Ethereum is the first altcoin that will start to catch up with Bitcoin. And when Ethereum starts moving, usually the other altcoins will follow. Okay, they will follow at that point. But in some other instances, as Bitcoin is rising, Ethereum keeps rising with it, and other altcoins may be crashing. But on some other occasions, when Bitcoin pumps and Ethereum does not follow in the same with the same intensity, and it stops, usually in like a day or so, Ethereum is going to try to catch up with that move of Bitcoin, and then it may even make a much crazier move, and then altcoins usually want to follow Ethereum when it starts to move. So usually these are some of the information experts use to actually predict the market, and this is different from the basic technical analysis, which is one of the confluence of data that experts use to predict the movement of coins. Okay, so most people who invest in cryptocurrency want to have a long-term investment on Bitcoin. But one other thing you should know is that in the financial space, the more expensive an entity is, the less the speed with which it moves. And this is what I mean. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was at 6,000, it's easier for Bitcoin to move from 6,000 to 12,000, which is 100% move. It is easier for it to move from 6,000 to 12,000 than it is for Bitcoin to move from 37,000 or from say 40,000 to $80,000. I think that looks commonsensical, and that's how it is. Things are in real life. The bigger an entity is, usually the less the speed. Smaller entities tend to move faster. That's why you have smaller cars being able to move faster than trailers. Okay, and that's why a lot of times people consider, and that it works same way in the crypto space. Bitcoin, the kind of move that happened since last year March to around this time, Bitcoin had moved from 6,000 to 40,000. So that's like how many? That's like divided by 6. That's like times 6 movements in almost a year. It has made a times 6 movement, which is impressive. But I tell you what, many altcoins make times 10 movements within 2 days. There are ones that make times 10 movements within 1 week. There are altcoins that within this same period, they move faster than Bitcoin. For example, let me show you a coin. That's sushi. There's some coin, sushi. I'm looking for sushi now. It's an altcoin. Sushi. Where is sushi? It should be up on my chart. Okay, this is sushi. Sushi is on $14 right now. Let me show you something. This is a daily chart. As of December 20. You see, As of December, this December 20, you see up here on the top left column, watch that video on the basic overview of TradingView. You should understand how to at least interpret these charts. So on December 23rd, 2020, just barely a month ago, one sushi went as low as $1.1. $1.1. Imagine that. Now, like about a month after, one sushi is about $14.5. 14.5 divided by 1.1. That's like a times 30 movement. That's 1,300% movement. And of course, nobody heard about that so much because sushi is not as popular as Bitcoin. But I'm just letting you know that altcoins move very very much faster than BTC. But one thing about them is they are not as trusted as Bitcoin, and because of that, you want to be very careful because they don't only move very fast upwards, they can also move very fast downwards. It is much easier for sushi to move from this $14 to $1 than it is for Bitcoin to move from 40,000 to $10,000. It is much easier. Sushi can make a $14 move downwards within a day. That's how all altcoins can make the same kind of movement. Something can happen, maybe Bitcoin, in a kind of news comes regarding Bitcoin, and then people see one prospect in Bitcoin and then they pull their funds from other altcoins. They may crash so hard. So altcoins move faster than Bitcoin in both directions. They can move up faster than Bitcoin, they can move down faster than Bitcoin. Okay, and that's where most of the money is, though it is most risky too, because and right now Bitcoin is already around 40,000. Okay, and if you have little funds as much as 100,000, if you put it on Bitcoin right now, by the time Bitcoin is at 45,000 from this level, this Bitcoin is presently at 37,000. At 45,000 minus 37,000. Okay, let me get my calculator. I want to do the calculation so you can understand what I'm doing exactly. So what is the calculator right now? Okay, this is the calculator. So at 37,000, let's say 45,000 minus 37,000, you have $8,000 move. If Bitcoin makes an $8,000 move, which is a very impressive movement right now, that will have amounted to 8,000 divided by 37,000. I want to calculate the percentage move that it will amount to, then times 100 times 100. By the time Bitcoin moves from 37,000 to 45,000, it would have made about 21% move. On your 100,000, you would have made about 20,000 naira, and that's actually good enough. Okay, but I'm telling you, this 8,000 move is a big deal with Bitcoin movements. That's number one. Usually around that same time, you may see an altcoin move down. Actually, it may move down much faster than that, and right now altcoins are moving in the same direction as Bitcoin, and I'm going to explain why shortly. But now I'm telling you that if you put $100 on Bitcoin, when it makes a move of say $1,000 move, $1,000 divided by 37,000, which is the current price, times 100, that will be 2.7% times your 100,000 naira investments, times okay, no, that's not it. That's 2.7 divided by 100. Okay, times 100,000. So you'd have made 2,700 naira on your 100,000 naira investments. That might not look so impressive, but then Bitcoin has moved $1,000, and that looks like a very big move. But I'm telling you that, usually when people hear that Bitcoin has moved from 10 million naira worth to 20 million naira, people feel like, oh, everybody in the crypto space has become richer, as though everybody got 5 million naira richer. by the move from 10 million naira to 50 million. But it doesn't work like that. How much you make in this space depends on how much you put into the particular currency. In order to benefit, if Bitcoin moves from $40,000 to say $45,000, the only reason why you will benefit the exact $45,000 is if you have one Bitcoin, if you have up to one Bitcoin. So right now, one Bitcoin, I have the Bitcoin Naira pair too. It's somewhere here. This is my Bitcoin dollar Naira pair. So one Bitcoin presently is about 17.7 million Naira. Okay, so in order to actually have something substantial, very very substantial from a $1,000 move of Bitcoin, then you must have about 17 point something million naira, and that is when a $1,000 move will be actually a $1,000 additional or profit for you. But if you have maybe 10,000 naira put in Bitcoin right now, even if it makes a move of $2,000, that is a very big move, but it doesn't mean that you have that kind of big move on your 10,000 naira. So the bigger the bigger a cryptocurrency grows, then the less return you get on whatsoever you may put into it, depending on how it moves. But when you have little sum, you are more likely to make something more substantial from your little amount of money from investing on altcoin after some research. Okay, after some research, if at the beginning of today, for example, you had put, you see this currency, this AV against USDT, you see it. Okay, let me say fetch, that's fetch AI, fetch against USDT has made 26% move today. Okay, so on this particular altcoin, if at the beginning of today you had put 100,000 naira on this altcoin, it would have made for you 26,000 naira profits. If you had put 10,000 naira into this coin, it would have made for you 2,600 naira profit. Why, if you had put 100,000 naira on Bitcoin at the beginning of today, where's Bitcoin, you would have gained a profit of 4,000 naira on your 100,000 naira. And if you had put 10,000 on Bitcoin at the beginning of today, you will be gaining 400 naira right now. So you see that putting your money on FET at the beginning of today looks like a better use of your money. But like I said, Bitcoin is more reliable, and then in the long term, Bitcoin has more potential than, it has more reliability and more likelihood, potential for being accepted than other cryptocurrency. So this FET, by tomorrow, FET can move 50% downwards or the same 20% downwards. That's the disadvantage in altcoins. But right now, one thing is happening with the altcoins. This is a season when they are going to pump so much. Okay, like I told you earlier, usually at those times when Bitcoin is making crazy moves up, most altcoins will start crashing. Okay, and I told you the reason. Now that's because as trust builds around Bitcoin, people are pulling their funds from alts and putting it into the Bitcoin. So the demands for alts reduce, and when demands reduce, like your basic economics knowledge, price would go down. And when the demands for Bitcoin increase, price will go higher more and more. So when Bitcoin gets to a point and it starts to consolidate, like I explained here, you see what I mean by consolidate is it's not moving upward in a kind of drastic manner. It's just going up and down. If you see the lower time frame, 4 hours, you see what I mean by consolidation. It will be much clearer. You see it going up and down consistently. At those times, people start putting more funds on alts. Okay, people start putting more funds on alts, and you see alts pumping very hard. And around that time, if Bitcoin, like right now, Bitcoin is pumping. I told you it's not all the time that Bitcoin starts pumping and alts nosedive. At this point in time, Bitcoin is pumping and all alts are pumping. And that's because after Bitcoin had done the work of building trust around itself, more people are coming into the crypto space, more people are trusting cryptocurrency, and alts have even started to benefit because people are even beginning to trust them more too. So people are putting funds in the altcoins too, and alts are actually increasing. Okay, alts are increasing right now. Alts are increasing but I bet you if Bitcoin moves very very drastically now, alts may receive some bash. Okay, but odds have been beaten for so long, the altcoins have been beaten for so long that it's their time to start pumping. It's their time to start pumping. Now, there is a graphical way that Bitcoin dominance in the market is represented. This is the graphical way of representing Bitcoin dominance. But when you learn price action, you may be able to make sense out of it. But like I told you, if you want to be an investor in cryptocurrency, you don't need to be a pro at price action. Okay, but if you really want to have a more commitment to trading, you can go ahead to learn price action. Okay, you can go ahead to learn it, which will require some intense devotion of time to learning. Okay, so right now the dominance of Bitcoin is reducing, so it means that if Bitcoin decides to crash right now, altcoins may not crash, and if it decides to pump so hard, it may not cause altcoin to pump so high, and that's because it's its dominance on the market is reducing. That's what this is saying. That's just a simplistic way of describing what is happening there. Okay, so those are the behaviors you should understand about the cryptocurrency. The fact that Bitcoin is the most trusted currency, and right now Bitcoin moves slower than altcoins. One, because it's already very expensive, and I told you the bigger an entity is in the financial space, the less the movements in percent. Don't get me wrong, in percent you may see that it's moving $10, $20 very fast, but what matters is the percentage movements. I think I need to reiterate that over and over again. You see, whether a coin moves from 30,000 to 35,000, that's not what is most important. Your return depends on the percentage movement of that coin. Okay, so if you put 10% on Bitcoin today, if Bitcoin moves 10%, you get 10% on your 10,000 naira, which is 1,000 naira. If Bitcoin moves 20%, you get 2,000 naira on your 10,000 naira, and that means if you put 100,000 naira, if it moves 20%, you get 20% on your 100,000 naira, which is 20,000 naira. So your returns is determined by the percentage movement of a coin. It doesn't matter where the coin is, whether it has 50,000 or $2. Okay, and like I told you, smaller coins move faster than bigger coins, and that's why you see coins that are still about 0. You see something like FET about 0.139, AV is about 343. They usually move faster than the bigger coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And why you may have been hearing some frenzy around Ethereum, that Ethereum is going to pump so high in percentage, and it's actually happening, is number one, Ethereum still has, it's cheaper than Bitcoin, so it's likely to move faster in the long run. It has more space ahead to move faster in the long run. On the other hand, Ethereum right now has one very amazing advantage. There is an emerging project in the crypto space called decentralized finance. You may go ahead to research more on decentralized finance. It is an attempt to replace the financial institutions, the traditional financial institutions like banks, insurance, and the likes, with a blockchain technology. Okay, with a kind represented in such a way that you might not need them as much as you do right now, just replicating them in the crypto space. And Ethereum blockchain network presents the most suitable platform for building these projects. Okay, and because it presents the most suitable platform for building these projects, Ethereum platform is going to be highly patronized more and more. The acceptability is going to be more. And remember, I told you about the creation of a cryptocurrency, that one of the things, it's not even one of the most important thing that actually makes a cryptocurrency appreciates is how accepted the cryptocurrency is, meaning how much people embrace the blockchain technology surrounding the particular cryptocurrency. And right now, the Ethereum blockchain network is gaining acceptance because there's a new project in the crypto space that is leveraging on the Ethereum blockchain network, because the Ethereum blockchain network is built in such a way that you can build projects on it much easily. Okay, the Bitcoin blockchain network is not built like that, but the Ethereum network was intentionally built in such a way that you can leverage upon it to build some crypto projects you want to build. And so because of that advantage, the Ethereum blockchain network is going to gain more and more acceptance. People are going to use the network more and more, and Ether, which is what we mostly call Ethereum, Ether is going to appreciate, is going to very likely appreciate, because it is the token, the main token of the Ethereum blockchain community. So those are some of the reasons why Ethereum has a long-term prospect. One, because it is still cheaper than Bitcoin, and because it's cheaper, people are likely to buy it more, and because it's cheaper, it's likely to move faster and more. You see, today alone, Bitcoin has moved 4%, Ethereum has moved 9%. Most likely in the long term, Ethereum is going to move faster. In the month of January, for example, you see the month of January. See Ethereum movement. Ethereum move, you see up here 78.23%. You can look the left hand corner here, 78.23%. Bitcoin around that time moved, let me see, Bitcoin move how much? It moved 14% in the same January. Okay, even though it had been moving faster before, Ethereum has started moving faster than Bitcoin, because right now that's the likelihood of. So if you had to choose between Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, I would recommend you buy Ethereum more now, because Ethereum looks more likely to perform better in the long term than Bitcoin. Okay, and then the altcoins, investing in the altcoins, number one, you must research on the particular altcoin you want to invest on. Okay, and altcoins respond, of course, the knowledge of price action can help you to some extent, but most importantly, you must understand what is happening, concerning the particular altcoin you want to invest in, the nature of the altcoin. Some altcoins are designed to scam people. Okay, and that's why you need to follow experts. Okay, some altcoins are designed to scam people. They just build it looks like something promising, and people put their funds in it, increase the value, the owner just sells all his reserve of that altcoin, and then it crashes on you, and then you lose your money. Okay, and that's some of the things that happens to some of these altcoins. But you want to be very careful. Research on the particular altcoin, try to understand the project, and if you understand blockchain technology, which I explained there at the introductory section, you'll be better able to interpret the project around a particular altcoin. Like this YFI now, it's one of the token of the decentralized finance space. I mentioned decentralized finance earlier. This token was built in such a way that it's a recent token. So you see that it doesn't have so much data, because it was listed on Binance in August, and since then it has moved from $3,000 to it's actually go to 40,000 plus at a point in time. That's more than times 10 movement within a very short while. Now this particular project, I actually read about it when it was around 9,000, but around them I actually didn't believe so much in this decentralized finance thing, and I was thinking it might be a bubble that will burst soon. So I read about how it works. What's the project around YFI? YFI is a token for a particular decentralized finance project community. Okay, it's more like, the crypto space, sometimes there are some the network of each crypto is more like a community. So sometimes you have a token that is peculiar to that community, which is more like, you can describe it, it's just imagine it to be like the share of that community or the currency of that community, but it looks more like a share in the sense that, for example, the Yen Finance decided to develop a project, and the project was such that some of the traditional knowledge we use to trade. For example, as a trader, some of the things we do, sometimes you can go ahead, look out in the market, look for any particular crypto that is performing well, or any particular project that is likely to appreciate, and then when we analyze each of them separately. Okay, and when we see anyone, we put our money in it. So this Yen Finance, they design a kind of project that searches through the internet, okay, to look for a well-performing project, a crypto project that is performing well, one that is likely to give a high return, and then they put your funds in it. That's what they promised. So they promised to have designed a project that can search through the internet and look for a high promising or a high return giving project or a crypto, and help you put your funds in it. So people started investing. You will invest with them, okay? And how do you invest with them? You put your funds to buy their token. So the token is more like a reward for investing in the projects. So when you invest with them, their automated system can search through the internet and use it to generate, high interest in your investment. And as they generate more interest, your investment in the firm, as it were, appreciates, and it reflects in the value of the token that you are holding. Okay, so that's how the token appreciates. And when people see that, oh, the previous persons are getting good returns on their token, more people put funds in the projects, and as so that means the demand for more of the token. As the demand for the token increase, the value of the token will increase. And as if their project is still working, which is the project that searches through the internet and look for a high return giving altcoin, if it's still functional, people will still continue to trust in the project, and in the long term the token is going to is going to increase. So I'm actually still observing this Ion Finance. I will take more time observing it later. If it looks promising, then I will wait for maybe possibly a major crash so that I can enter into it with some funds. But so far it has proven to actually be sustainable. So this is a token for a decentralized finance, but we list them as altcoin because any coin or any token in the crypto space that is different from Bitcoin, we list them as altcoin. Well, you see the value is very close to Bitcoin, and it has surpassed Bitcoin at some points in value. It was the highest valued crypto entity at a point. Why Bitcoin was still around 15k, it had gone to 40k and come back. I mean, why Wi-Fi? So the same way, another coin that is peculiar to a decentralized finance project is this AV. Okay, AV is peculiar to a decentralized finance project, and they also have their own protocols about what they promise that their projects will do. And when you trust in it, you can put your fund in it by buying their token. So gaining from altcoin has a lot to do with you research the altcoin to see the nature of the project. They have what we call white paper, which you study, you can read it. If you understand it and it looks like a promising project, then you can put your funds in it and watch it rise. But if you are not careful, it can, if it's not a project that is sustainable, you lose some cash. So like I told you, it's a risky space, so you need to research well. But as we work together, we are going to do some of those things together. That's one of the things one of the ways will be of help to one another. More and more altcoins come up every now and then. You can dig into the market and research any altcoin, and when it looks promising, you can put your funds in it. For example, this link was very impressive. I think it's peculiar to DeFi space. And then the XRP, for example. XRP is a payment platform. It has a link, I think, with the traditional banking system. Okay, it's a payment platform that makes payments, that it facilitates payment from one person to another, and then XRP is just the token for that particular community. Okay, and then by researching XRP, for example, I believe in the long term, you see highly promising coin. It's very cheap, it's 0.3, and you see that it's moving. The speed is so fast in both directions, both up and down, because it's a very small coin. But right now they are facing some case with the Security and Exchange Commission in America, and it's actually having a negative impact on the coin. But in the long term, I hope they win the case, and if they win the case, trust is going to be built around the coin. More people, right now, because they have a case with the courts or with the commission, people are losing trust, and when people lose trust, they put their funds away from your projects. And when they put their funds away from your projects, the value of the token peculiar to that project will reduce, and that's why XRP dropped at a point, because of that case, and because people became panicking. What if they ban XRP? And many exchange platforms started delisting XRP, so trust reduced, and XRP dropped drastically. So you can follow the news of the SEC, SEC, and then if it's looking promising, you can put funds in XRP. But I believe in XRP. I believe XRP is going to rise in the long term. So yours is to research the different altcoins, okay, using your knowledge of the blockchain technology, see which one looks promising and put your funds into it. And then, like I explained earlier, Binance is where you make a decision. For example, if you have Bitcoin, or you have let's say you have you know how to convert Bitcoin to USDT already. So assuming you have USDT and you think a coin like APPC is going to appreciate tomorrow, maybe based on price action. You come to check the chart and it looks like it's going to appreciate, or you check or you have an expert advice from an expert, which is what I recommend for now. As a beginner, you are not likely to be good with price analysis, so have an expert that you follow. And at some point, based on my analysis and my research, when I see any altcoin that looks promising in the short term or long term, I can recommend it for you. And when I recommend it for you, I expect that you should know how to find your way around Binance and buy the coin, and know where to set your take profit and stop loss if need be. And some cases we might not even set take profit, we just allow it to run if we believe it's going to run wide in the long run. Remember Doge, in the last couple of days, Doge actually moved 800% in 24 hours. That means if you had 100,000 naira on Doge on that particular day, you would have, your 100,000 would have increased to 800,000 naira. Bitcoin doesn't make that kind of move within a day, at least not now. Bitcoin can move times 8 within a day. Right now you can move from 30,000 times 8 will be about that'll be about 240,000, right? Yeah, 240,000. That's a very big move. If it happens to Bitcoin, the news will be all over again. But and Doge too, the news was all over. It was some people that just created a frenzy around them. The demand for it increased, and it actually rose 800% in 24 hours on a particular day. Okay, so that's how altcoins can actually be. They can rise very fast, and if you are well positioned, you can make good sum from it. But if you are not careful, you can lose big, because they can move fast downwards too, the same way they move fast upwards. But just right now, what I recommend is, number one, you can start your journey if you so wish, which I recommend that if you don't have the time, you don't need to bother yourself. Okay, the other thing you can do is follow an expert trader who has given years of experience learning how to analyze the market, who also understand how to analyze the projects around an altcoin. As you follow such experts, you become more vast in how to analyze a coin project. And for now, when you have an understanding of when you are aware of the likelihood of a coin pumping, you know what to do. You just go to Binance and take your trade. Okay, take your trade. Okay, so that is it about investing. When you are investing, think long term. When you are investing with small sum, you may want to consider the altcoin, but don't put your fund in any altcoin unless you have a basis for it. And one of the places where you get your basis for it is listening to an expert that you trust, giving you counsel on what to buy. And when that happens, you go to Binance and take a trade with an amount that you are comfortable with. Okay, maybe in one of the trades, that's part of price analysis, price action trading, but I think it will be relevant to you too as an investor. You already know how to set your take profit and stop loss. I might need to actually share one video on how to calculate how much you are risking when you are taking a trade. Okay, but that is already looking like a high level knowledge. But for now, understand how to buy and sell, and make your decision regarding that. And don't just go for any altcoins. Go for an altcoin that has a good report. And you can always chat me up and ask me questions to be very sure, to be more sure about your decisions, okay, regarding any altcoin you may want to buy. Okay, so, and I tell you, cryptocurrency has a vast future prospect, and when you are investing, think long term. And a lot of times when you understand, when you have understood a project and it looks so promising, don't be so bothered about what happens in the short term. Okay, maybe there's a dump. If it's a good project, it's going to rise and you're going to make your profits. Okay, so that is it about the behavior of Bitcoin and other altcoins. And I'm going to go ahead later in the class to further talk more about investing and the psychology of trading, so that you can better prepare for some other things I may not have mentioned. So that is it about this for now. Thank you so much, and God bless you.